Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Battle Armor He-Man from the new Masters of the Universe Origins line from Mattel. So this is the first deluxe figure I've been able to get my hands on. You can see it is a larger card and it does come with a ton more accessories than the normal figures do. You have an extra hand, you have an extra head, we get a sword and an axe, and then we get this effect piece over here. And then he does have the Battle Armor Battle Damage feature. So you can see it says Strike Armor to reveal battle damage. Looks like we have a new comic book as well, which is pretty cool. I don't think that's the same one. No, it's definitely different from the other waves. So this isn't technically part of Wave 3. Otherwise, it would have that same comic from Wave 3. I'm not sure if this is like Deluxe Wave 1 or if it's just like Deluxe class is its own separate thing. I'm not really sure. But like I said, I do really like the packaging. It's a wider card. Otherwise, you have that typical exploding red rock and night sky above. For the nostalgic packaging, but you do have some cool He-Man artwork up here on the side. If we spin this around to take a look on the back, you do see some cool artwork here at the top, so I'll go ahead and give you a moment if you'd like to read that. And then it does show you how the battle damage works, which is pretty cool. Over here we have the cross-sell for the other figures that are available. So we do have the normal Wave 3, which is Merman, Roboto, She-Ra, and Zodak. Then we have the other deluxes like Clamp Champ and Battle Armor Skeletor, which I still need to find those two. I do have Panther. A review of that will be coming fairly soon. And then Battle Cat's just from Wave 1 again, so I guess just because Panther was on, they decided to throw Battle Cat on as well. But yeah, pretty cool. Very excited for this. Gonna go ahead and get him out of this packaging so we can take a closer look. Here is Battle Armor He-Man out of the packaging. I think he looks pretty good. I think he did a good job recreating the battle armor. Very sharp. I love the head sculpt. He's definitely freaking out about something. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but I like the variety in expressions instead of just giving us the same He-Man head all the time. I like that they're giving us something new. So I like that quite a bit. Articulation, pretty much what we've come to expect from Origin figures. You have a ball joint for the head, so that can move all around like so. You have a hinge and a swivel in the shoulder. You have a hinge and swivel in the elbow. And then you have a hinge and swivel in the wrist. You have a swivel in the waist. You have a ball joint here in the hip. Nice out to the side movement. Little limited front and back movement, not as much, but there are some present. You do have a hinge and then a rotation in the knee. You have a kind of boot cuff rotation. And then you have a hinge and rocker back and forth in the ankle. So pretty good articulation. Like I said, what we've come to expect from this line. Paint all looks pretty sharp. Let's check out the battle damage gimmick. So you're going to want to kind of just push this in and then roll this back. And there's 3 levels. Whoops. Sometimes it doesn't catch. There we go. So there is undamaged. And then you just kind of like, you have to push it in to make it go. So you kind of have to, and then it'll rotate automatically. It's kind of spring loaded. And then there you go, there's the second one. And then you just kind of push it in a little bit as you roll it back down. And then you are back to normal, non-damaged. But really cool. I like it a lot. He does have the holster on the back for the sword. He does come with a sword. Slide that right in there. Now, once again, it is just a half sword. I feel like this would have been a really nice opportunity for them to give us a full sword. I know they wanted to do the half with the original to replicate the original play pattern where Skeletor had half. He-Man had half, and I'm definitely glad we got that at least once. But I feel like for any subsequent He-Mans they want to put out, go ahead and give us a full power sword like they did with Prince Adam. I would appreciate that. But otherwise, I'm okay with the sword. And then he also comes with an axe, which we can go ahead and pop in there. So that looks pretty cool as well. And I wanted to do a quick comparison with the first wave He-Man. As you can see, they're pretty similar. He definitely has different boots. He's kind of got laces on the boots that He-Man did not have. His belt and trunks look pretty much the same. I would say the arms look pretty much the same. And you can see we have a different head sculpt. Now, the axe and the sword, I believe, are the exact same toys. They're just molded in a different colored plastic. This is kind of a bluer gray, and this is more of a silver gray, but I believe it's the exact same accessory. And then same thing for the sword there. Just a slightly different shade of plastic, but the same accessory. So a couple of cool extra pieces that we're getting here with this deluxe release. A lot of people did not like the head for original He-Man from Wave 1. I personally didn't mind it, but a lot of people complained. Mattel heard them. They gave us this new head with this deluxe release. This, in my opinion, is a perfect replica of what original He-Man looks like. This head sculpt, the face, reminds me so much of the original toy. They really nailed it. And this should work with either He-Man. So if you really don't like the head on original He-Man, we can pop this off. And man, it's really on here. There we go. And we can pop this one on instead. And then there you go. That is definitely more reminiscent of the original He-Man toy. They recreated that head sculpt perfectly. I'm really impressed. And I think this deluxe line was a smart way to kind of give us some accessories they kind of meant to give us all along. We're also getting a second left hand that is for gripping instead of the open hand. Traditionally, He-Man has one gripping hand and one kind of open hand. Now, unfortunately, this one's a little bent, but it should be all right. But this can kind of hold the shield. You can see how this He-Man uses that open hand to hold the shield, and that's fine. But in case you wanted to have him dual wield like the axe and the sword, they went ahead and gave us a second gripping hand. So that's a big deal as well. I think that's really nice. And then they went and gave us this accessory. So if we take the sword and we place it in his hand, we can kind of, let me zoom out here. They gave us this massive effect piece. And I mean, this thing is bulky. This is rather large, pretty weighty actually. But you can slide this over the sword like so. And it, you know, kind of like he's calling out by the power of Grayskull. And then the you know, bolt of lightning is coming down. So it's kind of ridiculously massive, but I appreciate the effort. And I think it works well enough. It's not amazing, but it works well enough. I'm happy enough with it. We didn't need this, but they gave it to us. I think it's fun. So I'm pretty excited about it. So I think that's really cool. I think this, I mean, there's no reason this guy had to be a deluxe release. Honestly, they probably could have put him in the normal line. But I'm wondering if the battle damage gimmick kind of just pushed it over the threshold of the $14.99 price point. And so they thought, well, if we have to go up $5, let's give him a couple other accessories to kind of round it out. Because, you know, if you got just this in the box, you know, with these two next to each other, you'd say, well, why is this 20 and this 15 when I don't really feel like there's enough to warrant that extra $5? So they gave us an extra head, an extra hand, and this effect piece, and I'm pretty happy with it. I really think they did a nice job recreating that original He-Man head. I think they nailed it. I think that was really smart to toss that in here. That way, if you like the new head sculpt, you can stick with that. If you like the traditional He-Man head sculpt, you can go with that. I mean, when you pop that on here, that's perfect. That looks like the original toy to me. They crushed it. So I'm really, really happy with these. Real quick before we wrap up, I wanted to show off the new comic. So Battle Armor Reborn. You can see we have Battle Armor He-Man and Skeletor fighting on the cover. And then I'm not going to read the whole thing, but basically it looks like Randor and Marlena are traveling in this giant vehicle that I'm not familiar with, but looks really cool. Some kind of giant troop transport. Look at this thing. Please give me a toy of that. And then you can see we have Clamp Champ and I'm guessing just a random guard kind of riding on the top, and then they encounter these robots. And then Man-at-Arms gives the new armor to He-Man so he can try it out. And you get to see some Ram Man down here, which is pretty cool. And then you have Skeletor in the battle armor. So they're basically showcasing all of the figures that are going to be in this deluxe wave, because Clamp Champ and Ram Man are also going to be available along with battle armor Skeletor. But yeah, pretty cool. I love the little comics. I think they're a lot of fun. So very happy that this is included with this. I really like this whole release. Honestly, I don't have anything to complain about. I think this is great. I love that they gave us a new expression for this head instead of just giving us, you know, the same head from the first release. I'm glad they're at least giving us a little bit of variety. I think the battle armor damage feature works really well. I like the inclusion of the sword and the axe, even though it's the same from the first wave. I'm happy to get them in a slightly different color, and plus just more accessories is always a good thing. I think the effect piece is kind of fun. I love the inclusion of the extra hand, and I love the inclusion of the extra He-Man head that's more faithful to the original, like, retro toy release. So this is a slam dunk. I love this. I think it's definitely worth the extra $5 price point. Absolutely love this. I really don't have anything to complain about. Accessories are great. Articulation, pretty standard for Origins at this point, but it's great. No complaints there. The battle damage feature is great. The mini comic's awesome. And that original head, I still think they crushed it. That's just so well done there. So, again, nothing to complain about. Definitely pick this guy up. Yeah, he's great. Absolutely fantastic. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.